Captain Marzul of the Galactic Federation exploration vessel Vasari paused at the coordinates programmed into the ship's computers. Before him floated the third planet of an insignificant yellow star on the outer edges of the Orion Arm. His science officer, Starva, drifted up beside him. Readings indicate oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere, 71% ocean coverage, planetary temperature conducive to liquid water. Basic conditions for sustaining complex multicellular life are present, stated Starva in her usual clinical manner. Marzul nodded thoughtfully. In his 50 solar circuits patrolling the frontier, he had come to approach each new world with cautious optimism. One never knew what mysteries might unfold. Take us into low orbit, set scans for any habitats or cities. I want a full sweep for energy signatures, industrial and agricultural zones as well, ordered Marzul. The helmsman acknowledged and guided the Vasari into a sweeping orbit. For hours the probes and sensors swept the globe, correlating data and image analysis. Starva combed through it all with her enhanced Crescent intellect. Eventually she spoke. Captain, the third planet appears pre-industrial by our standards. However, it shows all signs of hosting a native intelligent species. Habitation zones are decentralized yet extensive. I detect rudimentary metallurgy and incipient use of fossil fuels in some areas. No spacefaring capability or energy production on a scale necessary to become a factor in galactic affairs. However, their global population may number in the billions already at their evolutionary stage. A fascinating case study, to be sure. Marzul nodded slowly. Planets such as this were the reason for his commission, to advance understanding between species. Yet first contact held uncertainties, for culture and technology often developed unevenly. Best to learn before engaging. Discreetly deploy scout probes for detailed demographic analysis and language acquisition. Maintain standard orbital period. I want no influence on their development. Also, scan for their ruling bodies. We must establish contact through proper channels. Weeks drifted by as the Vasari's enhanced sensors monitored the intricate dance of the planet below. The various tribes of humans, for so Starva had labeled them, had proven remarkably resilient and adaptable. Though physically weaker than many species, their tool use and social cooperation far outpaced their technical means. Cities grew in population, yet retained open plazas and green spaces. Famines and epidemics were mitigated through sharing of resources across great distances. It became clear this world had already faced crises that would have fractured lesser civilizations. Yet through empathy and reasoning, conflict was diminished and progress continued. Their cultures showed great diversity too, from nomadic traditions of leather and sinew to scholars in flowing silks who mapped the stars with paper and mathematics. Most fascinating of all was their language, complex yet supple, able to convey abstract ideas with imagery and subtlety. Poetry and story served to educate and preserve history. Through it all ran a thread of hope, defiance in the face of hardship. These beings, for all their primitive state, had vision and compassion that shamed many elder races. Marzul stood silent on the command deck as reports came streaming in. After so long aloof, watching from afar, he saw now the people below held promise. Their unique trials had forged strengths unlike any other. At last he spoke. It seems these humans have something to teach us after all. Open diplomatic hailing frequencies and prepare shuttlecraft. It is time we met as friends. The scout probes transmitted images of a great hall where leaders from all lands had gathered to discuss matters of peace. Surely here they would find open and thoughtful minds to begin a new chapter of understanding. Discovery was the driving force of the Vasari's mission. And what riches had they found on this third planet? At long last, humanity would take its rightful place among the stars. The great hall fell silent as the massive doors swung open, sunlight streaming within to illuminate motes of dust drifting upon the air. All eyes turned to see what newcomer had arrived, for this was a gathering of leaders and none had announced any company. In the doorway stood a lone figure, tall and robed, yet of no people or place recognized. Where its face might have been within deep hoodings was only darkness, an abyss where eyes should be. None spoke or drew breath as the stranger stepped forward unhurried, sandals whispering over stone tiles. It came to stand before the peers assembled and lowered its hood to reveal nothing. Smooth obsidian skin stretched taut over no features, a head as enigma where a head should be. Yet words echoed through every mind as if voiced yet making no sound. I greet you all in peace and friendship. Know that humanity now stands on the cusp of great change, and choices made this day shall steer your fate amidst the stars. Confusion and wonder reigned among the leaders for long moments, till the Princess Acacia rose and curtsied respectfully. Dark stranger, you come bearing mystery yet urge matters of import. Pray tell by what name and people you hail, that we might know whom addresses us so. Name and lineage mean little where I venture, Lady Acacia, only the message left behind. Know that beyond your world's skies fly others as curious of you, with care for growth unbound by borders. Your strength shine bright though shrouded so, ready now to journey outward through that which once confined alone within. The silence held ponderous before a shaman spoke. Riddles and portents cloud your purpose, yet wisdom rings within your strange speech. Word has spread of lights in darkness probing our lands. Do you come at their hand to reveal wonders unseen? A nod was the featureless stranger's only reply, and so Acacia straightened. If guests from afar seek honest dealings, then let counsel be had in open day. Join us, dark stranger, that truth emerge plain in daylight's truthful glow for judgment and choice. As one, the assembly inclined their heads in assent, for the princess's words calmed suspicions and offered opening where shadow once stood alone. The stranger bowed and glided to stand respectful at counsel's edge, an enigma wrapped in endless night yet bearing news to shake a world's foundation. What wonders and perils lay beyond their skies, waiting to be approached or spurned by resolution taken here? Debate commenced under heaven's watch to determine humanity's step upon the step toward stars. For hours discussion flowed as reports of strange lights and devices were shared, and meaning sifted from the stranger's riddling speech. None knew what lay in store, only that change was nigh and the unknown vast, filled both with chance for wisdom, riches, and understanding, as peril, should ignorance alone prove guide and frontier interests hold narrow sway. The voices of lords and ladies ranged impassioned yet thoughtful, each land and tribe adding their perspective on an issue shaping more than borders or seasons alone. Through it all, the Princess Acacia's wisdom guided with care for harmony and justice combined, her love for people and thirst to see humanity reach heights latent within flexing skill and soul. And when a chord emerged from diversity's interplay of thought, her words clothed the decision in confidence and vision, gathering all to the standard of destiny newly grasped within care-filled hands. For in the end, it was resolved that greetings, civil, and lessons freely shared posed small risk beside riches unknown, staying perpetually estranged and shrouded beyond curious grasp. Humanity would reach into the dark. The midday sun shone down as the great gates were rolled open, the assembled council streaming forth into waiting terraces to behold what rode into view upon the dusty road. First came outriders calling greetings in strange tongues, bearing banners unfamiliar yet stirring winds of change. Behind them strode Acacia, resplendent in azure silks, her dark hair flowing loose as was custom for momentous events. She raised a hand, stilling any outcry of wonder or alarm from the crowds, her eyes fixed down the road awaiting those from afar. A whisper passed through the throng as in the distance came into view shapes none there had witnessed before. Sleek constructs glided upon nothing, silvery and seamless, scattering light like flowing mercury in their advance. Yet not machines but living vessels did the onlookers realize, bearing within strange bipeds and more who peered out in curiosity and open hands. As the procession drew to a halt within the outer colonnades, Acacia stepped forth alone with a smile. "I bid you welcome, friends from skies beyond. This day you bring enlightenment and we receive it freely, to kindle new flames of understanding between our peoples." Her words carried strong yet calm upon the stillness, intended as balm. A hiss of escaping gas heralded the opening of one glinting craft, figures emerging clad head to toe in strange enviro suits which glimmered of advanced alloys and life support. Their forms were vaguely humanoid yet taller, limbs slimmer and heads domed with great dark eyes regarding the gathering intently. A helm opened with a snick, and from it issued a voice melodic yet strange through machine translation. "Well met, Acacia friend. I am Marzul of the galactic peacekeeping vessel Vasari sent to explore realms unknown. Gladly have we observed your worthy people on the rise and come bearing gifts of science to hasten bonds across the stars." With that, spacers emerged bearing crates which opened to reveal inoculations, holotech recordings, and other devices beyond imagination. Gasps filled the air and hands clenched praying beads or talismans, minds reeling at change delivered literally to their doorsteps. Yet hope and curiosity soon mastered fear and doubt, as Acacia went amongst the gathered explaining all with patience and calm mien. Children laughed at colorful displays projected for them. Scholars pored over manuscripts translated, and topics of philosophy were bandied offering new vistas. Through it all, Marzul's people drew the crowd in with gentle spirit, intent on trust and rapport first, technology and ties to follow where welcomed. The sun fell towards distant hills, painting terrain in hues of change, a world pondering a future defined by choices that day. Acacia turned to Marzul, sharing a look conveying fellowship found. "See how seeds of understanding take root where sown with care. Your visit ushers in a new age, and gladly shall we walk those paths, opening side by side." Hope kindled likewise in the visitor's strange eyes as sunset brought another day's communion between folk once strangers to an end, and a beginning beyond imagining held new birth beneath the stars. The moon shone down upon plains cast silver by their glow, where once more the leaders had gathered in solemn council under the starry canopy. Weeks had passed in glorious discovery since that first contact, and to many the skies themselves seemed newly opened to reveal marvels unmatched. Seed ships had spread across the nations bearing teachers and knowledge to multiply benefits, linked by new technologies spreading farther than any rider or caravan before. Inoculations brought immunity to plagues, weather prediction forestalled famine, advanced farming doubled yields for the poorest provinces. Stargazers tracked the wanderers overhead and mapped Empyrean cartographies untrodden for eons. The songs of skalds took on cosmic themes never heard in halls of yore. Spirits soared on wings of boundless potential. Yet not all met this new dawn with welcoming eyes alone. From some sectors came dark whispers of faiths challenged, traditions crumbling as youth embraced the foreign influx, eager to abandon the old ways entirely. Merchants voiced concerns of market disruptions as galactic goods undercut age-old wares and crafts. Lords lamented lessened autonomy as provinces selected alliance with far-reaching federations over local rule. Deeper still, some elders recalled ages past when a great scourge had risen to dominate through terror and subjugation. Fearing history now ran its course again in a new guise. These discontents brought their grievances to this secret conclave beneath the watchful stars, hoping to curb steps taken which might never be retaken should new winds gain dominance. Arguments were voiced passionately on either side as befitted the gravity of choices, some entering freely the debate while others held themselves to shadowed corners nursing old grudges slow to fade. And so the disputation continued till midnight's deepest hour, when at last the figure of the Lady Acacia rose resplendent in the moonglow, commanding all attention by her poised mien and the wisdom granted through trials now concluded. Her words carved tracks in the stardust as she addressed the assembly. The night breathes change, as ever it does, yet change we confront need not herald ending, but beginning. Cling too tight to former ways and all progress chokes, yet too swift an adoption risks losing treasures won through hardship and sacrifice. Wisdom bids we find harmony, tween old and new, tradition and advancement, keeping blossoms nurtured that fed our ancestors' spirits while welcoming strains that fortify us for the road ahead. Friends, this is a time of chances not to be feared but embraced, guarded and guided to reflect highest hopes. Tomorrow offers vistas to inspire our children and repay struggles of our forebears. Shall we close our hands on a present passing away or open them to grasp a future shining? The choice remains with each soul. For my part, I say, let the blossoms bloom, and may life continue its dance neath the sky's watch through all turns the ages yet hold. Her words sank into hearts like kernels taking root, calming passions and illuminating a via media none had discerned alone in the clash. A sigh like wind through seagrass rose from the glade as hands were clasped in fellowship renewed, doubts laid to fertile rest. A new day would dawn.